Let me go ahead and start recording. Okay. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Who on this call has already had their own meeting event that you threw? Like you organized it, you locked in the location, you met with the prospects, you promoted. Does anyone have any experience with that on this call? If you have, go ahead and type a 111. Network marketing type of meeting. Awesome. Okay. So later on, I just want to kind of gauge where we're at because I don't want to go too far into super advanced stuff. I want to get you started. I want to get you moving because success loves speed. And you're going to find that in network marketing, at first, you're going to have to do a lot of things wrong or imperfect. Okay. But hopefully this will help the wrong part kind of not exist as much, right? But I really want to help you guys with that, you ladies, because I think this is a huge hole where you feel nervous or you just kind of can't seem to get your business off the ground because it's kind of scary, right? Starting meeting up with prospects, throwing events, trying to get people together. It kind of feels like you're like gathering a bunch of marbles and all the marbles are just falling between your hands. If you agree with me, go ahead and type 222 in the chat. All right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me give you a little background while I get this share going. So I've been in network marketing for a little over 2 years now. I absolutely love it. I didn't think it was anything I was going to do. My first company, I was trained extremely well. Ladies, I spent probably at least 1 to 5 hours a day focused on my business because once I was introduced to it, I was all in. Learning about personal development and growing myself, it was something I didn't find in anything else. And part of that journey and that growth came with learning to speak in front of a room, speak at meetings, grow events. And personally, I was really lucky because I'd been a part of creating events because when I was much younger, I was in the wedding business. And then for the last 12 years, I just kind of retired recently. I worked in the nightlife, as a bartender, a host, doing a lot of promotions, promoting to come to my events and our different nights at the nightclubs. It was required that I actually get people there, and then to create an experience where people want to be there, stay there, spend money was a really great learning experience that I've now applied to these events. And that's why I believe San Diego, we were able to get it off the ground, is because I and another individual really just started pushing events and inviting people out, So I really hope that you guys can create that in your market, wherever you might be, but you're going to have to start small, and that's totally okay. That's why I'm going to break it down from small one-on-one meetings all the way to events, because you're going to have to build up to that. Does that make sense? Even if there's events going on in your market, you need to learn to start doing small one-on-one coffee shop meetings, home meetings, etc. That is how network marketing is built. I want to say that social media has kind of diminished the importance of this because you're watching Alex Morton, Jason Brown, all of our, like Luke Longmire, one of the leaders I work with, throw these massive events, and you think that that's what you have to do. Eventually, when you're P5000 chairman, maybe a little less depending on where your market's at, but at first you have to learn to do the little things. Okay, if that makes sense, go ahead and type a 777 in the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that's why I want to get to the nitty gritty. Ladies, when I first got into network marketing, I had a home meeting within the first week, okay? My sponsor handheld me, which I know not all of you have that luxury, but that's what I'm doing for you right now. I'm going to handhold you through the process of throwing your first home meeting. And I highly recommend that you get this on the books within the next 7 to 14 days. No excuses. If you want to be a chairwoman, if you want to win in this business, you have to start learning to do these things, okay? If there's a weekly event in your market, then focus on that, but get those coffee shop meetings in line in between. I would still recommend throwing a home meeting if you haven't done one yet to launch or relaunch your business. You have to remember, you might be putting out your information about this business out there, but a lot of people, and probably a lot of people you know, still don't know you do this. So it's okay to say that you're new, even if you're 6 months in, even if you're a year in. We have new apps that come out all the time. You can launch with those new apps. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so where is my share? Share. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and share this. Okay. Let's start with the coffee shop meetings, okay? So why coffee shop? Have any of you guys ever, you ladies, sorry to keep saying guys, that's just my word. Have you ever invited someone to a lunch or a dinner and your goal was to prospect them into IML? If you have, go ahead and type 111 in the chat. Open this chat. Yeah. So let me tell you why that's not a good idea. You're like, why, Monica? How much do you ever feel tempted to have to cover the bill because you are prospecting this person? You can just say yes or no. Do you ever take someone out to lunch and you're like, ooh, I should cover their bill because I'm inviting them out? Exactly. So that adds up, right? What do we always see? You have to run the numbers. You got to run the play, right? In order to be successful in this business, you have to run the play over and over and over and over again. Eventually, you will find that person that's open to this, that wants to trade, that wants to build the business with you. But it takes a while to get through those numbers. And so if you're inviting people to lunch, dinner, that money adds up. Some people can afford it. I'm assuming if you're really working hard in this business to do both sides of the business, that you really shouldn't be spending that money. Yes, it's a write-off if you're an IBO, but I really recommend, until you are something like a chairman and above, that you don't do this. Instead, and this should be after you have phone calls with prospects. So understand that there's other aspects of this training. You want to do most of it from the phone, from Instagram, from Facebook message, from text. I really recommend phone calls because phone calls mean serious money. And if you can't get on the phone, how are you going to get in front of someone and be any better, right? So coffee shop meetings, right? Coffee shop meetings. You could probably cover $5 for someone if you have to, okay? So it's convenient. It's affordable. It's a public place. If you don't know your prospect that well, as you start moving off your warm market to your cold market, it's safer, right? So I highly recommend coffee shop meetings. Okay, rule number 1. I hope you guys are writing this down. Never be late. Okay? You don't want to be late and it just looks unprofessional. You know, you want to be, I always try to shoot to be anywhere 15 to 30 minutes ahead. Granted, I'm super busy and luckily a lot of my warm market gets that. So with San Diego traffic and everything, I'm not saying that I've never made this mistake, but especially when you're new, you're on it, like don't be late. Just don't be late. There's some people that will literally, I think Eric Worre has it in GoPro. They were trying to close a massive meeting and his father, who's never late, happened to be 15 minutes late this time. And that gentleman who they had the meeting with left and was like, go ahead and reschedule with me. That's rude. It means you're not serious, etc. All right. I always say this to my team: ask questions. your instinct is going to want to be like, okay, this trading thing, and you have MetaTrader 4, and you hop onto IML Academy, and you do this and this and this and that, and this and this and this and that, and it's amazing, and you can make money, blah, 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 blah. Who's felt like that's how their instinct is to just tell them everything we got because you love it, you're passionate about it, you're like, oh my gosh, you got to check out iMarkets Live, I'm learning so much. Who has felt like that? Drop it in the chat or done it. Right? Okay. Sounds crazy, but psychology will tell you that people love to talk about themselves. And no matter, there is so much opportunity out there, ladies, okay? Why yours? And the only way you can conform that this is their solution is to find out what their problem is. Because it doesn't matter how amazing something sounds, if they don't feel like this fits in with their life and their goals, they will not say yes. Does that make sense? If you don't find out why they need this, what the problem is, this cannot be their solution, no matter how amazing. Even if you said, just show up and you get $1,000 a day. Because that's not really real anyways, but I'm telling you, you have to understand that. So the best thing you can do is try to stay silent as possible, especially in the initial phase, and ask questions. How do you want to ask questions? You want to focus on these 4 things, write them down. It creates the acronym FORM, F-O-R-M, family, occupation, recreation, motivation. I just saw Alex Morton talk about this again on one of his lives. Family, do they have kids? Are they taking care of a sick mother? Do they live with family members? Like, what's going on with their family, friends, close relatives, right? You don't want to dig too deep, but I think people love to talk about themselves. You know, if they, especially if people have kids, I love my kids. I love to be home with them. It's amazing. Awesome. Right? What's their occupation? What do you do? Well, I'm a nurse. I work really long hours. I love what I do, but I'm getting really burnt out. Interesting. I'm in real estate. Real estate's amazing. I make great money, but man, that hustle between commissions is tough. Wow. What do they do for a living? Well, I really love to, work out every day, but it seemed because of my job and these tough hours trying to make money, it's kind of like I can't really get in the amount of time that I love to spend doing that activity or travel. Travel's a big one. We all know that we hear that travel and trade, right? What's their motivation? This is going more toward what's their why, right? And these things kind of cover that, right? My why is because I love my little brother and he has a mental disorder. And unfortunately, he probably won't be able to take care of himself financially for the rest of his life. So when my parents pass away, who's going to do that? I could just keep going, I'll see what happens. Or I could be really active now ahead of the problem, okay, that's obviously been stewing in my mind, and say, hey, I'm willing to put in a lot more work now so that later on, if my brother really can't take care of himself, it's okay. It's okay, Michael, I got you. I'm going to take care of you. Drop some 7s in the chat if you have some deep whys like that. You want to take care of your family. You're tired of watching them work hard. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So once you form these problems for them, with them, right? You're helping them. It comes from a compassionate place, right? You want to come from a loving, compassionate place. Then you can say, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I really wanted to, grow wealth for my future family or current family. And I found that I wasn't going to be able to do that at my job. So I knew that I had to find a way to start getting my money to work for me. But I didn't have a lot of money. And this was probably the most affordable way where I felt really supportive to do this. Are you open to learning more? Feel, felt, found. If you're dealing with a network marketer, they know that. But still, if it comes from the heart, who cares if you're regurgitating years and years of information that's all over the web? Don't you guys agree? Who cares? Come from a good place. People work with people. Okay, so if you don't care about that person, they're not going to care about you. Okay? I think we got someone done. I'm just going to mute them real quick. All right, so remember that. If you don't care about the people, they're not going to care about you. So really make sure you come from the heart. I'm not saying to be super soppy or anything, just care. Care why they need this money. Care why they need this business. And it's not always the money, ladies. Sometimes people just want some significance, and being able to offer iMarkets Live to other people offers significance. I feel good when I see my team win. I feel good when they can quit that job that they didn't want to do in the first place. I feel good knowing that they can take care of their family. That's what feeds me, right? And I'm sure a lot of you ladies feel the same. Okay, so with that said, I like to say, be the trailer, not the movie, especially on these one-on-one scenarios, right? We want to really just give them the gist without saying too much. Know that when you first get started in this business, and first get started can mean years. So even if you've been in IML a year, 2 years, it's okay, right? That you can't perfectly explain. This takes practice. I was in journalism since I was 16 years old interviewing people, okay? So do not, compare your day 1 to my day 10, okay? It's okay, you're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna get weird sometimes. And even when I got started network marketing, like, man, this is weird sometimes. But eventually I pushed through it. I kept repeating. I kept doing it till it got easier. And I'm still working on it, ladies. You should always be growing. You should always be learning. All right. So these coffee shop meetings also ideally in the beginning are like a 2-on-1 scenario where you work with a leader that has a little bit more work on this. And your goal, if you have that in your market, you might not. But I'm saying if you do, I would book this ASAP, is to close your mouth, okay, and let that person do the talking. Don't interject, because you don't know how to do this. Let's be real. You're brand new. You don't know how sales works. Maybe you do. But in network marketing, even if I did sales for 10 plus years before I got into network marketing, it was a different game. You're not asking people to sign the line for a one-time commission. Okay, does that make sense? You are not asking people to sign the dotted line for a one-time commission. You're not selling just product for the day. Does that make sense? You are signing someone up for a probably at least 12 to 18 month commitment. That's a lot. It's amazing, but it's a lot. So do you really think that you can get someone there? And it's okay. You should feel like you're getting there. But in the beginning, lean on your leaders if you can. And again, I'm going to go back and forth on that because I know some of you ladies don't have that. So it's totally okay. But if you happen to have a leader in that scenario, the worst thing you can do is interrupt that person, who's already kind of watched their mentor, taken that information and is now duplicating it. Duplication is key. So that's the other thing, going back to why coffee shop meetings. Imagine maybe you do have plenty of money and you're like, I can take people to lunch all day. I got extra money, Monica. I'm doing this for other reasons, or to, really exponentially grow my income. Okay, well, what about the person you recruit or sponsor? Can they? If you can't duplicate what you do, if someone you sponsor can't duplicate what you do, you're not doing it right. Duplication makes money in this business, not you being the best at whatever. Okay? It's just the way it is. Because if you want to run numbers and you happen to, In the beginning, you're going to do this. You're going to be like, okay, I really want this for Sally. Sally's struggling. Sally can barely hit her bills. She should see this. It's amazing. It's going to change her life. But Sally can't afford what you can afford, right? And that's why you got to recruit a little up, you know? But it takes practice. At first, you're going to recruit. They say there's a scale of 1 to 10. It's not to say Sally is like a 1, or, you know, I don't like judging people like this, but you just got to kind of keep this in perspective. If she's a 3 or 4 on her skill level, income, etc., Sally can't duplicate if you started off as an 8. Does that make sense? So do what duplicates, not necessarily what works for you. If you guys aren't, okay, write this down. Eric Worre, GoPro. If you have not listened or read this, I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice. All right, moving on. Okay, so if there's no leader available, like I said, you did not explain very much, right? You were a trailer. If you don't have that leader, you have tools. iMarkets Live has so many tools. Bust out your laptop and watch with your prospect. I'll tell you this, I've sent so many videos out. Sometimes they watch it, but sometimes they, especially your friends, they're like, what is this video that your website you're sending me? I don't have time for this, Monica. But if they get to the point that they meet you in person and you're not comfortable going over the information, which again, imagine if you don't think that person would be comfortable going over the information. I've made this mistake before so many times, ladies. I feel like I have to like tell everyone what it is. But when they're my prospect, if I don't bust out a third party piece of information, like what is IML.com, write these down, IMLpresentation.com, they're going to feel like they have to do that. And that gives them anxiety to recruit. But if you show them that I'm going to bring you to the coffee shop, have a conversation, get to know you, find out why you need this opportunity, bust out my laptop, show them the information on the website, they're going to be like, wow. You can also use recorded webinars. If like, man, Julian Krishner just crushes explaining the business, or Mr. David Imonitie, and that resonates with you, show that. I would stick to anything 15, 20 minutes or less. People get antsy, okay, especially when it's not live. If that resonates with you, please drop a 111 in the chat. Just show them the video, but now you have them in front of you, right? So they have to watch the video. You're like, where are you going? Watch this. Because isn't that kind of hard? Do you find that a little difficult sometimes, ladies? Also, if your person is not in town, your upline, excuse me, your upline, your sponsor, you can also have them Zoom in with your prospect, but you're still physically there. Building in person is powerful. It's going to make your business grow much stronger than online. Not that you shouldn't do both, which in person is where it's at. Okay, once you're done, if you are brand new, do not try to close them. Bam, fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. Write that down. Bam, fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. At first. Eventually, you got to start being like, are you ready to get started? Zip your lips. But this is where I would really leverage some type of leader, even if it's sideline, to close. Then they can answer any questions, objections. So if they have questions, be like, look, I'm just getting started. I would really actually like to have you meet the person that I'm working with, because they've been doing this longer than me and I don't want to butcher it. But I'm learning so much and I'm growing so much. I'm learning a lot. Is it okay if we schedule a call with, say you were working with, I don't know, Mr. David Imonitie? I know that would be hard, but maybe you are. That's that point, they've seen some information, they're still interested, and you get them on the phone. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Yes, Herman would be perfect. All right, so invite them to a weekly meeting, a 3-way call with an upline leader, live webinar. All right, the other thing I really, really would recommend is that you stay connected on Instagram. Make sure they follow you. Make sure you reach out to them, because the algorithms love if you communicate to people. Encourage them to follow your personal leaders. Say if you work with Herman, or I work like Mike here works with me, I would have them follow the leader because that leader, a P600 and above, is probably posting things that spark their interest. They're learning how the finesse of social media. Maybe you haven't, but you're going to, right? So if they're following you, eventually you're going to show up. And if you keep saying, hey, what's up? How are you? You're going to show up on their stories, all your posts, right? So if it's a no, not right now, it might be a no later. And the best thing you can do is get that follow-up game. So the fortune's in the follow-up. And sometimes the best follow-up is letting them see you, and it's less aggressive. So you see how the mixture of in-person with social media can be very effective. Most of my people know me in person, then they've been watching my stories, then they reach out. What is that thing you're doing, Monica? What is that thing? My team that has been the most consistent and most active have actually, like, I know them in person or knew, like, we had mutual friends, and then they reached out to me. Interesting enough. But that takes time, right? At first, you have to be aggressive. At first, my first few people where I reached out to them directly, I sat them down, I got them to a weekly meeting, I got them to a home meeting. That's how it works. And eventually your Instagram will follow suit. All right, moving on. Okay, 1 second, ladies. Okay, sorry, it was frozen. I'm actually just going to keep it like this. For some reason, Zoom loves to freeze on me. Okay. So, home meetings. Like I said, if you have not executed home meetings, you should be doing this, especially if you don't have a weekly event in your area, once a week at least. In your organization, if you want to hit chairman, there should be at least 4 meetings going on every week. Okay, you don't necessarily have to be there. Eventually, you coach someone to be taking over some meetings under your organization, but at first, you got to start building up to this, right? So, why home meetings? They're affordable because they're in your home. If you sign up as an IBO, you actually get to write off a percentage of your home. Use it. It's comfortable for your warm market. You know, your friend Sally, your hair, you know, is your hairstylist, feels probably a lot more comfortable coming to your house than going to a weekly event. It's weird. Sometimes the weekly meetings at hotels are weird at first. Like eventually you get all like amped up on it because we get to know our, you know, people, our team, the sideline, and it's fun. But for the new person, they're like, what the heck did this person drag me to? That's actually part of my spiel. When I speak in front of the room, I just put that out there. I know this was weird. I know you guys all got invited here and they're talking about money. And I decided to show up because it's my friend, but this is freaking weird. I straight up address it. And you have to understand that about people. You know, it is weird at first. With my first event, I was like crossing my arms and I'm like, and I was already in the business because I signed up without even going to an event. Don't ask me why. But I was just like, oh, this is so weird. And then the speaker like took my objections down, took me down a notch, and I started learning more. So see how just getting someone there, being a good promoter, let the people that are good at what they do their work. I mean, aren't you re-inspired every time you see an Alex Lauren, a David E. Monite, a Jason Brown speak? Let that happen for someone else, okay? All right, they should be fun. So this is the one thing, you gotta make sure events are fun. And if you're not going to Dallas, you're gonna see how fun Dallas is. We're gonna have the most amazing time. I prefer going to convention over vacation. I know that sounds crazy, but in addition to learning, you're just around like-minded people, you get amped up, you feel good, you talk about why you're doing this, and it just makes the whole thing. Yes, Laura, Vegas was amazing. Vegas the year prior changed my life. Okay, so you have to get to I am. All right, so set up for home meetings. Make sure your place is clean, okay? Make sure the slide deck is ready. And make sure all the technology is good. The laptop is connected to the TV with the HDMI or the AirPlay. Have music playing when people are set to arrive, maybe a little bit before. You always want to get ahead of the game, right? Some people like to show up early. Hopefully those people will join because those are amazing. High beat music, high energy music. Don't use, I hate to say no rap or anything like that. Trust me, I love ratchet rap music. That's the next one, but you'll hear my playlist. You wanna feed to multiple people. Okay, and some people do get really offended. It is what it is. So if you guys need some suggestions, I use a certain playlist, and it's just so important to have that. Have the speaker, make sure the sound quality is decent, you know, but it doesn't have to be perfect. If you have a clicker, let's see if I have one. There it is. I stole one of my Silents, unfortunately, but whatever. These little clickers you could get on. This one's like by Logitech, and you insert the HDMI here, and I turn it on, and if you're speaking, you can just do that so you're not leaning over your laptop. Not necessary, but I'm just putting it out there. Great for events when you're much further from, unless someone else is moving the laptop and getting you through the slides. Make sure there's enough comfortable seating for guests, and place each of the guests toward the presentation. Oh, I can't tell you how many times that I try to coach the team. It's like they let the guests sit all the way at the back. Let me tell you what's wrong with that. So this is going to apply to home meetings and events. Your guest sits to the back. Maybe you're trying to reach out to another prospect or do something on your phone. That de-edifies the speaker. You've put them at the back and they see that. They start also seeing any chit-chatting of any negative Nancy's that manage to slip into your meeting. Put them in the front so the speaker is fully engaged head on. It's just sales. It's just sales. Place them toward the front. And then I don't recommend prospects sit next to each other unless they came together, because once they sit next together, again, this is weird. Why did we come here? Why did Laura invite me here? I really don't like this. Okay, just put yourself in their shoes. Okay, get them comfortable. Home meetings, I highly recommend some refreshments. I don't recommend drinking before, but if they're close enough friends, honestly, like, drinking can make people feel a little more comfortable. Just saying. I don't recommend hard liquor, just something light, like wine, beers. I guess White Claw's a cool thing now. But mostly water, juices, sodas. I mean, I don't really recommend drinking sodas, but, you know, I'm not going to judge people right now. Maybe cheese, veggies, you know, think something light and cheap. Pitch in as a team. Again, do things within budget. You know, Trader Joe's has great snacks. You can probably spend like 20 bucks and have something great. I really recommend having printed out sign-up sheets. So when someone's like, I'm ready, unless you have them sign up with you directly, say, okay, I'm ready to sign up, but I'm doing it tomorrow. Perfect. I'm gonna have you sign up on this sheet. I'm gonna run it for you tomorrow, but I'll call you before I run your credit card. Just get it done, ladies. Get it done. That's how you do it. Does that make sense? Type a 111 if that makes sense, having the sign-up sheet. I mean, how many times have we gone to, you know, somewhere else, like sign up for some yoga class or whatever, and they made you sign it? What's different from that? You own your business. Own your business. Don't be scared. You love it. You love it. You're here. They're going to love it too. You set that example. Fast start sheets. You want to get them started fast. I really recommend P600 and above start their people, but maybe you don't got that. Let's just put it out there. Maybe you don't got that. Fast start, you want to have, I really recommend David Emonitier's. I'm not going to go over this in depth, but it goes over the why. It shows them through the academy. Some people have like a little list, but I like to do a back office run through. I literally go into the academy, maybe show them one video really quick. I go on IML TV, show them how to use it. Weren't you confused? You're like, oh, getting on IML TV, unless you had an amazing sponsor or upline that showed you, you're probably a little confused. So show them how to click, show them how to find recordings, how to hop on, put some stuff on their schedule. Be like, you need to finish this academy as soon as possible. I know you're busy, but once you're through it, you're going to know so much more. Then I want you to schedule at least 2 IML TV sessions a week. Now you're setting them up for success because you care. All right, so fast start sheets. I'm not going to go too much into that, but let's keep it moving. I know this is kind of a long thing. All right, so we talked about this. What's David's video? David Emonitier. I think he does imlpresentation.com. But just go on YouTube. Search whatever, just start watching the different presentations. Make sure it's somewhat up to date, okay? But they're usually recorded and put on YouTube. But the reason you don't want to send YouTube videos is because, of course, some sour person who wasn't successful in IML likes to say it's a scam. It's like, okay, cool. I'm sure you didn't even show up to a meeting. or watch one training, but they like to put that stuff there, and it'll come up after the video. So it's better to do like whatisiml.com, which is a 3-minute preview, and then I think like a 15 to 20-minute presentation. Okay, so if your upline is not local, you can actually zoom them in. So as far as the presentation, you can edify them. So ladies, write this down. I always say, hi, welcome. I'm so excited, like have high energy. I'm so excited to have you there, here. This information changed my life. My name is yada, yada, yada. I'm 32 years old. You know, I did this and this and that, but explain your problem, then your solution. You know, I was running a practice. My acupuncture practice was amazing, but man, I went from having a job, a 9-to-5, to a 24/7. I was getting tired. And I knew that if I wanted to raise a family and create real wealth to help retire my mom and dad, help my brother out, it probably wasn't going to happen at my business because I was time broke. So I knew I needed to find something, but I didn't have a lot of capital to get started. This is an extremely affordable opportunity. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce this next person who's going to go over the opportunities, helping support me, right? Learn the skill of trading and how to help others through this business. Okay, so edify that person. I like to focus on 4 personality types that they're fun. They know all the information, you know, a little bit of background. Maybe they were served in the military. They're helping a lot of people all over the world, including me, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So typically, if you do have a team to work with, there's 3 speakers. There's someone who does the opener, just like I did. Sometimes the opener can cover the first 2 slides, okay? Let's see. Oh, I just realized I'm not sharing. Sorry, ladies. Okay. You guys see that? All right, so if you want to take a snapshot of this really quick, and then home meeting. Sorry. If I ever do something like that, I'm a little, like, just stop me. All right, so you want to cover, if there's 3 people, all right, they want to cover the opening. The other thing I like to do is ask people to silence their cell phones so it doesn't interrupt the speaker. If they need to use the restroom, it's over there, but I highly recommend that you hold it, okay? And just don't interrupt if you don't mind. Write down those notes and those questions. Save your questions for the end. We'll make sure to get them answered before you leave. Okay, then you typically, as an opener, you can either stop there, or if you want to get some more practice doing some part of the presentation, you do the first slide of the cash flow quadrant, the second slide of what is Forex and cryptocurrency, and the third leadership slide. Then you toss it over to someone else for the products. Then that person who covers products usually covers the IML Academy, the TV sessions, the Night Owl sessions, or the Market Mastery now, what's it called? Harmonic Scanner, okay? Then you cover the pricing, okay? Then when you get to 2 and free, don't go over 2 and free, you toss it over for the 2 and free, which I call a scholarship program, the comp plan and everything. You have the third person, which is someone who's usually more experienced, to close out the room in case you kind of messed it up. And what's great is if you're someone who gets better at doing this, I'll be like, oh, they forgot to mention that we're, you know, in 120 countries, that we've grown from less than 2,000 customers to almost 100,000 in only less than 2-3 years time. Massive growth. So, you know, something like that. Or maybe you didn't explain the academy that well, and that's okay at first. That person can cover it. All right. So the flow. Again, have that music playing, keep it high energy but tasteful. Make sure you greet guests, make them feel comfortable, offer refreshments, places to sit. Start the meeting promptly 30 minutes after the call time. You know, maybe you can chit chat, get to know them, ask questions, get to know their why. Go through the presentation. Fast start training. I really recommend MT4 training. There is an MT4 training in your academy. You can always open that up onto a video, onto the TV, then bam, fam, book a meeting from a meeting. If that makes sense to you, drop some 777s in the chat. Okay, sorry, I'm running a little overtime. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Also, sometimes for you ladies, it's always cool to do like themes, like tacos and trading. If you ladies have kids, maybe mamas in trading, be creative so that people feel comfortable. Usually you're connected by some common ground. It'll make it a lot easier to do a home meeting and you're less fearful. Okay. I'll just put it out there. If you need a little more help on that, we can talk about that later. So events. Which event is the most important? The next event. Leaders are born at events. Great leaders do not miss events. So if you want to be chairman, if you want to be even P5000, P2000, okay, you need to show up to like every event. I know there's a lot of events going around, but the big events first and foremost, and then whatever your market puts on. Okay, ladies, that's so, so important, and a couple gentlemen. So how do you throw an event? Say your market's kind of growing, you need to throw this first event. Book a location. You might need to shop around for meeting space or hotel space. If you can get it for free, great. I like to pull in my favors. That's why I've been nice to people for the last 10 plus years in the nightlife. This can be pricey, so you need to I recommend doing this with other people in the market. Like I've had to shop around, we all have to go in, someone's got to put down the credit card. Putting events is very tough, I'm not gonna lie, but it's so necessary. I've had to put my credit card down and run at a loss so many times. So I'm just warning you, that's why I recommend home meetings. You can build a massive organization just on home meetings, but some of you really want to throw events. So I would like to help get you there. So how much that event space costs is going to typically determine how much you charge for an event. I live in San Diego, event space is expensive. So sometimes we got to charge like $10 a ticket. But usually to pre-sell and get people motivated to bring guests, we'll do like 4 for $20. So they're $5 each. Do you want to have physical pre-sale tickets, or do you want to have something like Eventbrite? Figure that out. Eventbrite is a really great one. You know, you can have people Venmo you and send them a ticket. I just really recommend pre-sale tickets for events, at least 30 days out. Sometimes people struggle with this because it feels like you're just running in a hamster wheel. Okay, create a flyer as soon as possible. You can pay for a graphic designer. There's a website called Fiverr. You can kind of, I think, get, what's the word? Different people to, I can't think of the word. That's okay. Just use Fiverr. Or I personally make all my own flyers, but I do have a background in journalism and working with publications. So you might not have that. Maybe someone on your team does, a friend, they can help you at first. I usually use the same layout and just adjust the dates a few times in a row, but canva.com is amazing. They have all these templates, it's free. You just put in pictures. You could, steal ideas from other people's flyers. Again, make sure the technology is all set up. Sometimes you gotta get a projector and everything for these event spaces. Sometimes that costs an extra $200 to $500. So just know that a lot of these things add up. Here, I don't really worry about refreshments except maybe that there's water, bathroom, parking is decent, all that good stuff. So I recommend in the big event situation, assigning music to someone if you don't have a sound person available. Music before, after the presentation. I like music between the speakers if possible. It kind of like, if in case not everyone's clapping and they're kind of thinking it's weird, it kind of brings up the energy, So sign up table, 1 to 2 people assigned to accepting tickets, taking payments. I always have someone out there because people love to sneak in an event. Sometimes I don't think it's on purpose. They might just not know, but you're spending all this energy, potential money on an event. Have someone have your back and take those tickets. Make sure they're paying. Sometimes there's a higher ticket price at the door. We want to make sure people are paying because we ask them for $10 and you put down $500 to $1,000 on your credit card. Just saying. I will ream my team for that all the time. My team never really acts up, but sometimes I got to talk to the other teams. It's like, hey, I understand. I don't love to charge people. This is not to make profit. I'm throwing an event to cover my costs, to help you out. All you had to do was show up with some guests and spend $10. I had to put down almost $1,000 on my credit card. So I'm just asking that you help with this cost. And again, coming together with leaders in the community really helps with this. I really recommend, I like to wristband at my events. Like you get the ticket and then you get the wristband. That way I know that you paid or have turned in your payment. Create a line outside. So if you have, this is an event for 50 plus people, it's really good to have a line formed outside and assign someone as a kind of security escort. Just ask someone, hey, can you stay at the door, check wristbands before we let them in? I don't let them in until 15 minutes before the presentation. And it creates this excitement. Wow, all these people at the event, you can do it on social media. Everyone wants to come see IML, blah, 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 blah. Just get that line formed. Have your different IBOs and customers helping say hi and introduce yourself at the line. Hey, how are you doing? You know, just keep that information so it's not like everyone's like nervous and weird in the line. Okay. Sometimes with the event space, it's not always like, I can't really do that, unfortunately, with the way our space is on our weekly events, but for the big events, we definitely do this. Make sure you know the parking situation. Some hotels charge. So make sure people know it's $1 for parking, it's $2 for parking, it's $5 for parking. Well, I try not to find space that charges more than like $1 to $2, or I see if I can cover it into the whole cost. All right, sorry, I'm moving a little fast. I have another call in a few minutes here. Where are we? All right, tips for speakers. Listen and watch as many presentations, presenters as possible. You need to study this. If there's someone you resonate with that speaks a certain type of way, I mean, you should be watching that presentation 50 plus times. I was luckily coached by some great uplines who literally, I was able to give a webinar and they broke down the way I spoke on it, each slide. So if you can find someone like that to work with, I really recommend that. Have high energy. Gosh, again, make it fun. Like, people don't want to come to these meetings, right? Learn to say a lot by saying a lot less. I really recommend you guys listen to Jim Rohn. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's super, super important. When you're speaking, you want to touch on different personality types. If you're always like, oh, I want to help people, this is amazing, it's going to help people change their life, that's beautiful. But some people in your room is going to be a shark. They just want to get to how do I make money? What's the comp plan? So you got to learn to be very like a chameleon. All right. This takes practice. This will not happen right away. At first, you might just be reading off the slides. That's okay. But this is something this is a little advanced. I want you to start working on this. I've learned to be more of a dolphin. When I go over the comp plan, it is so awkward. People are like, oh, this is totally a pyramid scheme. So I make it fun. All right, guys, get this. You get to sign up as an IBO and take advantage of the tax laws by being an IBO, even if you're at P150. But let me show you how easy it is to get an extra $600 a month. So you have your mom's friend, Bob. Bob works at a retirement home or lives in a retirement home. He wants to make some extra money. He has 3 older friends. All they do is play cards. So they're like, you know what? I kind of want to learn this trading thing. Cool. They sign up. Instead of playing bridge, they're practicing trading. They sign up. You didn't even know Bob's friends. Then you have Sally. Sally worked at the hair salon. She has 3 friends. And they're like, girl, I need to make some money. Let me sign up. I need to be doing this from home with my kids between getting my hair done. Just make it fun. Then you have your cousin Tom. Cousin Tom's in a biker gang. That biker gang loves to go through, the hills and the mountains on their bikes all day long. They don't have time for a job. They want to learn something that they can do at night when the markets are open. Perfect. They sign up. You didn't even know all 9 of those people. You just hit P600. Make it fun. Because people are going to be like, wait, what? Okay, and I'm going through this a little fast. I usually write it out on a whiteboard. Whiteboards are great, by the way. Okay, when you speak about yourself, all right, speak about where you've been, where you are, and where you're growing. I had just my practice. I was bartending to make ends meet between my practice. I was time broke. Now, I'm part of this. I'm part of iMarkets Live. I'm learning. I'm getting my mindset right. I'm learning to trade. I'm working with other people, starting to help others. I see myself as a Chairman 100, helping even more people. The thing is, my goal isn't really Chairman 100, right? It's making 100 people 6-figure income, helping people. All right. I see myself retiring young, being able to spend time with my kids, right? Where you've been, where you are, where you're going. Talk about the problem and how iMarkets Live is your solution. Bring that in. My friend was trading already. I got to see someone make money from his phone. And so when I saw that, I was like, you know what? That could be my solution. Being able to trade in the evenings versus being at a toxic nightclub drinking alcohol, right? What do? I help people with their health. This doesn't even make sense, right? And I was able to fire that job only a few months ago. It's amazing because of iMarkets Live. Possible, guys, ladies. All right. Tips for the IBOs and customers. So sorry, I'm going on and on and on. If you're attending the event, you're just as important as the presenter. Show up. You need to show up to the weekly events. All right. The more people there are, the more excitement. Even if your guest fails to show up, you help someone else by showing up, and eventually the tables will be turned. You have someone, that person with no guest showed up and help bring up the energy. You guide guests towards the front of the presentation. You might want to snapshot this. I'm going through this fast. I have another call. Okay. React to the speaker's presentation. Laugh. Oh my gosh, you've heard this joke 50 times. Laugh anyways. Help your speaker out. Literally, the speaker isn't the most important person. The people in the room are. Repeat what they say. When they say, hey, has anyone else felt this way? Say yes. Yes. Say, wow. Wow, that's amazing. Because people don't know if you're an IBO or not. I personally pretend I'm like brand new at every event. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. The speaker isn't responsible solely for the energy in the room by giving a great presentation. We in the audience supporting the speaker are. Dress nice. At the end of the presentation, do not ask, what do you think? Ask, what do you like best? See how that connotation and that verbiage, I just heard someone do this the other night, and I was like, ooh, cringe. That person was like, well, I don't really like that. You just set them up for a no. What did you like best? Well, I like the idea of training from home, being able to do something on my own time. I like that there's all the support. I like this, right? Focus on the yes, and then elaborate on that and let a leader do that talking. Push your prospects to a leader right away. Okay, sorry I'm going kind of fast. All right, really quick, inviting your guests. All right, 60-second calls, be in a hurry. Hey, John, sorry, I'm super busy. I'm about to go see a patient, but I just wanted to see, are you busy tomorrow at 7 p.m.? No, why? Well, I'm working with a bunch of amazing entrepreneurs, and we're going to create the 6-figure business. I'm so sorry, I'm really in a hurry, but can you make the time? He's like, wait, what it's about? Look, I mean, it's a 6-figure business. I can't speak, about it right now, and I'm sure you need to see the visuals and everything. So are you busy at 7? Yeah. Can you make it? Yeah. Perfect. So be in a hurry, clear the schedule, add value, take it away. So I'm going really fast, ladies. I have literally a call in 2 minutes. You can do this with other people, create call parties, etc. You can also look up this information on YouTube. I just want to cover it really quick. When you're confirming yes, don't say, are you coming? I'm excited to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m., John. Then, before noon that day, hey, John, can't wait. I just want to make sure you have the details. I'm sending them over an hour before the prezo. Hey, John, so excited to see you. I'm heading there now. Make sure you follow up to get them there. All right. So the whole trading thing, I always personally really like to add the element of trading. Doesn't mean you need to teach. Stop being a teacher until you're ready. You are still learning. That's okay. It takes 10,000 hours to master anything. All right. Use an IML Academy video. Hop on a session, a beginner session, whatever it is, a recording. Utilize the system and what we have to expose the opportunity. There's a how to enter trades on MT4 in the Academy. Okay, and if there's stark differences in levels, like some people are advanced and need an advanced session like a Chris Derrick, Luke Longmire, stick them in one room or one area, bring the people that are brand new. Okay, I would get better at teaching people how to use MT4. Okay, but that's what the videos are for. All right, bam, fam, I'm gonna repeat this again, book a meeting from a meeting, never let that person leave without knowing when you're in a text call, get them somewhere again. Do it anyways. Meetings are hard, they're scary, they're weird, but we all start somewhere. Repetition is key. Okay, repetition. I did this over and over. I showed up to so many meetings, ladies, over the last year with nobody showing up with me, maybe one. And eventually it started working. So stick with the process. It's okay to be in this process. It's so rewarding. You get to help amazing people. All right, so with that said, I'm so sorry that I don't have time to answer questions on this webinar. Do me a favor, drop your questions in the Telegram, and I'll put some videos in there to respond. With that said, if you ladies got value and you couple gentlemen, drop some 777s and again in the chat. I appreciate all of you. I know it's really long. Events are super important. I hope that helped. Please, 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 please put this information into action. All right, and let's get it. Reach out to me if you have any more questions. I'm sorry that we ran a little over. and let me help support you. Take care.